Hello, my name is Jimmy and welcome to the 2020 Mazda MX-5. This is the RF, which means it is a retractable fastback. So let's see exactly how fast it is. Well, with a quick acceleration test. Sounds pretty good. 0 to 60 comes in at 5.8 seconds. So yeah, it's a little slower than the actual convertible version, but who cares? This is still a whole lot of fun. All the way to 7.5. Well, this smile is real. 181 horsepower and a whole lot of fun. Yes, it weighs a little bit more, about 100 pounds more than the convertible, but it's not that much. Yes, it's slower. Yes, it weighs more. Yes, the balance isn't as great, but it doesn't matter. This is still an amazing vehicle for what it is. And the RF does one thing much, much better than the standard version. It's a retractable hardtop. So when you put the hardtop up, it's like a regular car. There's almost no compromises. And yes, it's almost no compromises. It's not zero because, well, it's still an MX-5 after all. Let's put the top up so, well, you guys are able to hear me. You are able to do this while driving, but no more than 10 kilometers per hour, which isn't that quick. All right, let's talk about the outside first. From the outside, the MX-5 RF looks, well, exactly like the regular MX-5, other than, of course, the slightly awkward hardtop that it has. Unlike the NC or the last generation hardtop, this isn't a full hardtop that goes and stows away. You still got these buttresses on the back, so the design is a little bit different. This is the Canadian spec GT trim in the polymetal gray. It's every single option you can get on the MX-5 RF. So actually, it's quite fancy. On the front, we got LED headlamps, LED daytime running lamps below. On the side, 17-inch BBS alloy wheels, and behind those, Brembo front brakes. On the rear, we don't get Brembo brakes, but we do get red calipers. Overall, on the side, it actually still looks relatively sleek, but like I said, the hardtop, it's a little bit awkward as it is a little bit higher than the soft top version. And from the rear 3/4 view, I think this is the best view of the RF itself. I love the roof design. And this actually have a blacked out roof, which matches the overall exterior of the vehicle quite well. What can I say? The MX-5 has been out since like 2016. It hasn't changed. It still looks the same, but it still looks amazing today. Let's talk about the trunk a little bit, if you care about that. In terms of trunk space, there's 127 liters, which translates to 4.5 cubic feet. It's definitely not the largest trunk. I mean, you can fit some overnight bags in here, but not much else. But let's talk about the cockpit. That's really where it matters. I love how everything feels in here. The polymetal gray from the outside expands onto the inside. I do wish this was a little bit of a softer material, so when I actually rest my elbows on here, it's a little bit more comfortable, but you do get nice armrests on the side. The driving position is great. The steering wheel is now telescopic as well as tilt adjustable. So, well, it's able to fit people of all different heights. And the seats, they're very comfortable as well. These red Napa leather seats are heated and, well, there's actually little speakers built in as well. It's a great driving experience. It's just a really comfortable place to be. Vision out is terrific. The gauges are on point. Big tack right in the center, speedometer on the right, and a digital readout on the left to show you your trip, fuel economy, and a whole lot more. I just wish that there was a digital speed readout. It would make the cluster just a little bit more useful for me. From the cluster, we move on to the infotainment itself. I mean, it's a standard one. It's been the same for like a lot of Mazdas for a very long time. Nothing has changed there. It works well. You use the buttons here right on the console to control it most of the time. You can use the steering wheel or the touchscreen when you're stationary, but that's really it. There's nothing that special about it. There's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is definitely a nice plus. For 2021, there's also wireless Apple CarPlay As mentioned, this is the fully loaded GT trim, which means I get the automated climate control on the bottom. It's a very nice unit and heats up the cabin really, really nicely. I mean, the cabin is kind of small, so it doesn't have that much of a work for it. But let's talk about how it drives, because honestly, it's an MX-5. That's what matters. Because on the road, it just feels a lot more connected than anything else. Steering is so precise. The shifter is exactly where you need it to be. And because it's only 2,460 pounds, it's a featherweight. And because it's so light, you're able to feel everything. Suspension, well, just like the standard MX-5, it is softer than some may like, but I personally find it very comfortable. And you learn a lot more about the car's balance in here. As this basically has all the options, there's a few things on here that I personally love. First, the Brembo brakes. They stop the vehicle very well, as I will now demonstrate with my face. Jeez. Never get used to that. There's also added upgrades on the suspension components as well. The shocks, they're Bilstein dampers now, and we also get a limited slip rear diff, which means that when the weather is a little wet or a little snowy, you can get it a little sideways, which I will not demonstrate on the public streets because I am a sensible person and because this is not my car, it's Mazda Canada's, and I really don't want to damage it or break it. But if it was my own, I would, and if it's not on camera, I may have done it once or twice, or 5 times. But the driving experience is absolutely amazing because it is an MX-5. There is nothing that's like this. Maybe other than the Fiat 124, as, well, it is a cousin of it. But the latest news is the Fiat 124 is dead. So if you really want a sports car in this market, well, the MX-5 is the only one. It really comes down to only 2 that you can choose from, the standard or the RF. Living here in Vancouver, the RF makes a whole lot of sense. It keeps me nice and dry, it's nice and warm. I'm not saying like the regular version leaks or anything like that, but a hardtop, it's just better than a soft top. It keeps the heat in rather than escaping. And well, it's just very nice to be warm on a cold day like today. It's only 4 degrees Celsius. That's too cold. Anyways, let's pull over here and summarize everything up. The 2020 Mazda MX-5 RF. No, it's not the 2021 model, but there's only minor differences. Like I said, the wireless Apple CarPlay and a few new paint schemes, and that's really it. With a base price of $40,000 Canadian, it's definitely going to be priced higher than the standard convertible version. This, as tested, is $45,127. But this, I just feel like it's a vehicle that I can drive every single day of the year. I mean, it was snowing a couple days ago, and I have no problems with it driving on the roads because it just felt so planted. And you can drive it every day because it's quite economical as well. In the city, it'll do 26 miles per gallon. On the highway, that's 34. For us Canadians, that's 9 liters for 100 kilometers in the city and 7 on the highway. So there's nothing really I don't love in this. It's absolutely perfect for every scenario. It truly is. One of my favorite cars. Although I have a kid now, and my kid doesn't fit in here. That's a problem. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you do. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to go and drive a little bit more now. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.